This video is an excerpt from my Fujifilm X-S20 tutorial course, and I think this one's really fun. It's going to take you through all of the ways you can customize the controls in the Fujifilm X-S20 to get more out of that camera. If you want to see the entire course, including videos of all the menu walkthroughs and how to use the focus and exposure settings, you can check out that course at photocourses.link/XS20 and use the code TUBE20 for 20% off that course.
The final thing that we're going to customize to use this camera more efficiently are the custom function buttons. You don't have to accept the defaults for what each button does in terms of which functions they perform. Every photographer is different. Every photographer has a different workflow and style. And so you can customize these controls to do nearly any function that you want based on your workflow. To see a map of what all the different buttons do, press the menu button, go into the Setup menu, button dial setting, and then the function FN setting. There's a shortcut to see this map and program it from shooting mode. Just press and hold the display back button. The difference in doing it this way is it will also allow you to pair a camera to Bluetooth and turn Bluetooth on and off. This map is a good reminder of what all of your controls do if you ever forget, and this is also where we're going to program them. To reprogram any of these controls, just scroll through and select the control that you want to change, press OK, and then you'll see a list of all of the different functions that can be assigned to that control. Different functions are available depending on the type of control you choose, such as a physical button versus the touchscreen gestures, swiping up, down, left, or right. You'll also see some functions that are not available elsewhere in the camera, such as a large histogram or preview depth of field. Go down and highlight the function that you want to assign to that control and press OK. Remember that if you do want to use the touchscreen gestures, those need to be enabled in the touchscreen setting menu in the button dial setting menu. If you're using a power zoom lens, don't forget you can also customize those controls in the next submenu. Like the custom menus, I'm not going to preach to you what you should do for your custom controls. This is something that you're just going to have to work through based on the kind of photographer that you are. I don't know what kind of functions you want to have quick access to. That's a decision that you're going to have to make on your own, kind of like the custom menus. So spend some time using your camera, make note of the functions you want to be able to change quickly with your controls, which controls you want to use for each function, and make note of those. Program it that way, try it out, and then reprogram it if necessary. I still reprogram my custom controls every now and then as my workflow changes. And you also need to practice this. Get that muscle memory so you know exactly where your fingers need to go to access those different functions. I will have some recommendations in the text for this video with some of the functions that I think are important. For example, being able to quickly enable or disable face and eye detection, select a different auto ISO program, lock my auto white balance, and so on. Those are all things that I want to be able to change without having to go into any menus, so I have them programmed to custom function controls. That's what this is for. And then the final thing we can customize are our custom settings, or what you may have heard on the internet referred to as film recipes. Using these, we can take those film simulations and further customize them to our own liking by adjusting color, contrast, and more. These are going to give you your own styling options. If you want a very vivid, high contrast style for landscapes, for example, you can create a landscape preset. And then if you're going to photograph a portrait right after that landscape, you can go to your portrait preset, which might have some more muted colors and softer contrast. In this camera, new to Fujifilm cameras, you can also save things like your exposure mode and focus settings. To program the custom settings, all you need to do is go through your image quality, focus, shooting, and flash menu settings and adjust everything how you want it for that custom setting. Then go to the very end of the image quality setting menu, the Edit Save Custom Setting option, and select which one of those custom setting banks you want to save these settings to. Select Save Current Settings and press OK. You should also at this point assign that custom setting a name so you can remember what that setting is. So go back into the Edit Save Custom Settings, highlight the custom setting that you just created and press OK, then select Edit Custom Name. Use the little keypad to give it a name that you'll remember. If you want to duplicate that setting and maybe slightly tweak something in the new setting, you can select Copy and choose which custom setting slot you want to copy those settings to. We'll look at how to edit that in just a second, but first we need to tell the camera if these custom settings will put the camera into movie mode or still photography mode. So back out to the Image Quality Setting menu, go to Custom Mode Setting on the last page, and select which custom settings will be for movies or for still photos. They are all set for still photos as the default. If you ever want to change any of the individual settings saved to a particular custom setting, go back into the Edit Save Custom Setting menu, highlight the one that you want to change and press OK, then select Edit Check. Scroll through the list of settings, highlight the setting that you want to change it, and press back when you're complete. If Save the Changes is available in the menu, you'll need to select Save the Changes and press OK. If Save the Changes is grayed out, it's not available, that's because you have Auto Update Custom Setting enabled. When this is enabled, any changes that you make, including while shooting, will automatically update that custom setting with the changes you made. If your Custom 4 setting has the Zone Autofocus Mode program to it, but you change your autofocus mode to Spot while using that custom setting, Spot is now automatically saved as the new autofocus mode. If you do want to enable this, go back to the Image Quality Setting menu and enable Auto Update Custom Setting. If this is disabled, any camera setting you change while using a custom setting will not be saved to that setting. Instead, you'll see red dots next to those settings that were changed from the original custom setting. You have the option of saving those settings to this custom setting if you choose to. Go to the Edit Save Custom Setting menu, select the custom setting that you're using, and select Save the Changes. To reset the settings to the original custom setting, select Reset the Changes. This, again, is an evolving process. It's something that you're going to be changing for as long as you own the camera. Trust me, I'm constantly changing these, but I'm refining them towards a goal. My goal is to pre-process my photos, setting the style and the mood that's appropriate for the story I'm telling with my photos, and get those images in the camera rather than in post-processing. If you are interested in developing your own film recipes further and learning how to get these JPEGs correct in the camera at capture, I have dedicated courses for those which are included in the Fujifilm Photographer membership. But just take some time and see which combination of image quality settings you like the most for different subjects. You can then use the mode dial on top of the camera to quickly recall the custom setting you want to use.